In this video, I'm going to be talking about 7 habits that are keeping you poor, and I'm going to give you not only the habits that are keeping you poor, but I'll also tell you advice that you can implement right now to change your life. Bad habit number 1 is not learning. Now, I learned early on that you should not let school get in the way of your education. Learning is one of the most important things you can do to level up yourself. Not only that, it really lifts people out of poverty. And a lot of times what happens is that once we're done with school, once we're done with college, we stop learning. Life gets in the way, we get busy, and things pile up in our schedule. Instead, what you should be actively doing is start blocking off time to start reading something new or start learning something new. Now, I'm sure you heard a lot of YouTubers and prominent people talk about the importance of reading. And they say it's because it's really important and really does matter what you read. Here's what you should do. Go to Amazon, find books that you want to read. Then it's really important that you start reading at least 1 chapter every day. I do this usually before going to bed. You can even do this anytime throughout the day, but it's important that you do this consistently. And what's really important that you're not reading for the sake of reading. Start reading, start taking notes, and at least take some points that you can start to implement in your life. So if you don't know what to read, here are some of my recommendations. Book number 1 is from Dale Carnegie. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Book number 2 is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Book number 3 is A 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Book number 4 is called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. Book number 5 is called Sprint, where it teaches you how to launch new ideas, launch them in literally 5 days. And book number 6 is called How to Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. So if you don't have money, borrow from a friend, go to library, find a way and make it happen. Search in Google. I'm sure there's a lot of books that you can find that you can literally download and start reading. Bad habit number 2 is not picking up new skills. Here's the thing about skills. It takes a lot of time to learn and it takes a lot of effort to replicate, which means once you learn something, it's gonna be really hard for somebody to replicate it. And I'm sure you heard this saying by now, skills pay the bills and some will even make you rich. And it's really important for you to learn and master those skills because the harder they are, the more likely you'll get paid for them. So here's my advice on how you should pick up new skills. Go to a website like udemy.com and start browsing towards the courses you can learn. And make sure that you're finishing and watching those courses to the end. And the only way you can do this is to watch a video on a daily basis and start implementing what they're teaching you. Another thing you can do is go online and start searching on YouTube. There are a bunch of these websites where they teach you important skills. And here's another thing. You can even go to your local Toastmasters to start public speaking. It's one of the most important skills I learned that has helped me throughout the day. It is even helping me right now as I'm creating these videos and putting out this content. Habit number 3 is not being able to create a system or create a process. Here's the thing, you will never get rich by doing everything yourself. You need to learn how to put processes in place and start learning how to delegate stuff to other people. You also need to learn how to scale yourself. So here's your job. Your job is to ensure you're putting a process in place without giving away your secret formula where anyone can make a delicious cookie time after time without failing. And once you put that system in place, your job is to increase sale, make sure there is quality control. Imagine franchising. Think how you can create a machine like Henry Ford did with Ford Motor Company or Ray Kroc did with McDonald's. And here's how you can start implementing this today. Identify one thing that is taking up a lot of your time and that you can automate or give it to somebody else. And you can easily do this by outsourcing the task to a virtual assistant. If you have the money, go to Upwork and hire somebody in the Philippines. The reason why I'm saying Philippines is because I've successfully done it and most people over there speak English. And you can outsource stuff like data entry, video editing, and a lot of other things. And once you've done this, you'll see you're outsourcing a lot of your tasks that a virtual assistant can do, and you'll see yourself freeing up a lot of your time. And once you've outsourced one thing successfully, you'll automatically find yourself doing other things as well. Right, so habit number 4 is not valuing your time. And I've seen a lot of people fall into this trap because they don't know what value to put on their time. So imagine for a second, you want to buy a washing machine, and that washing machine costs $300. But what you find in an online ad that a town away from here, that same washing machine is costing $290, but the town is 1 hour away. So I will literally see some people do is drive their car 1 hour away to get an extra $10 discount, not realizing that they wasted a whole 1 hour, which was way more valuable than saving an extra 10 bucks. So here's what you should do. Start by putting a value to your time. What is your time worth? So for example, right now, my time is worth $10,000 per hour. And once you have that number, what you realize every time you do a task, Ask yourself, is this worth my time? For example, you want to return a package that you got from Amazon. Ask yourself, is this worth my time? You want to put data entry in your products or your Excel sheet. Ask yourself, is this worth my time? And once you have a value to your time, ask yourself this question before you do any task. Is this worth my time? Or should I get someone else to do it? And then ask yourself, are these things repeatable? Is somebody else can do this for me? Then start automating those tasks, start putting processes in place, start hiring people for it. And early on when you're starting off, your time might not be worth as much. But it's really important to have a number to it, because as you make more money, your time will be worth more. Habit number 5 is not keeping track of your daily tasks. We're all given a set amount of time every day. From the richest man in the world to the poorest man in this world, we're all given 24 hours. But what makes the difference is how we use that time. That is why it is important to work on things that will move you forward. And what you'll see is that once you have a list of tasks on your hand, you'll find yourself wasting less time. You won't be doing other things like going on social media, watching Netflix, watching TV, playing games for hours and hours. It's just like going to a food mart. Imagine that you have a shopping list in your hand. You don't waste your time going to aisles, browsing other sections, spending your money on things that you didn't need, and then forgetting what you needed in the first place. It's the same concept. And that's why it is really important to plan out your day 1 hour before you go to bed. And you'll find yourself hitting the ground running every morning. And you realize that you got more done that day than any other day when you did not have a task or any list to work on. Here's what you should do to get started. Use a tool like Notion. Write down all the tasks that you need to get done for that day. Now, it is important when you write down your task is that you're doing things that will move you forward. Don't fill up your schedule with busy work. Then throughout the day, cross out stuff that you got done and then move over the stuff that you didn't get done to the next day. And then the more you do this, the more better you'll get in prioritizing your tasks. You can also use a notepad for this where you're writing down tasks. If you ever read the book, one of my favorites, called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, who was the founder of Nike, he talks about using a legal pad where he was writing down his tasks that he needed to do throughout the day. He will look at his legal pad every night and start executing on those tasks every day. Habit number 6 is leaning too much into your feelings. Here's the thing about feelings. They come and they go. And I've seen this with too many people. When a negative emotion comes, like feeling sad or feeling alone, they lean into it. They let that feeling consume them throughout the day, and they're so sad that they barely get any work done. Instead, what you should be doing is do your best to observe those feelings. Watch those feelings come and go, but never allow those feelings to take a hold of you and to consume you. If work needs to be done and if tasks needs to be completed, keep going and keep trucking forward. It is impossible to be happy all the time. It's like you're on some sort of drug where you need to be happy constantly, and you need to train your mind to observe and not to react. Now, this is where meditation really comes in and helps you. Meditation is a great tool that allows you to observe what's going on inside your mind. Now, I personally use an app called Calm. I got lucky because I got a lifetime subscription deal for it. What you should do right now is download that app. There are a bunch of other apps out there. Start with 10 minutes a day, then slowly increase your time. If you don't want to download that app, then go on YouTube, search for a guided meditation. Watch one of those videos and start meditating. And the next time you're sitting down, you're working, just observe them, but keep trucking forward. Habit number 7 is not being a creator. We learned this in Economic 101. For a country to be prosperous, it must export more than it's importing. The same goes for you. Stop being a consumer and start being a creator. Create something that people want. Start solving problems. For me, the people who have the highest regard in society are the ones that are creating stuff for society. These are the ones who create way more value than they're actually consuming. And I have no right to judge them if I'm creating way less than them, because they really are on another level. And creation can come in many forms, like building products, like building an electric car company, or making a breakthrough in a drug company that cures illnesses, or creating a non-profit organization that is delivering these drugs to remote parts of the world, creating movies that are entertaining to people, or writing a book that is teaching people a new skill. Here's what you can do right now. Open your camera, record yourself where you're teaching somebody a new skill, then upload it to YouTube, to TikTok, to Instagram. Don't want to record? Then write an article, write a blog, then distribute that to places like LinkedIn, Medium, put it up on your own website. There are tons of other places where you can share this content. And once you get started, keep going, keep producing content every week. Now, if you're super busy and you have have a full-time job. I even create a video that teaches you how to do a side hustle where you can learn how to create stuff and start making something of value. Click here to watch that video. Now, here's the thing. We all have bad habits, but we should actively work on it to start minimizing them. And if you can start even implementing one thing, as I said before, you're well on your way to improving your life. And the odds of you being successful just increased.